Welcome to No Agendas. I'm your guy, Rashad Phillips, and across from me is my co-host, Kendrick Big Perk. What's good, dog?
Hey, Yoda, man, I'm in my all black, man. I'm on some, you know what I'm saying? I might be outside your door stuff tonight.
You laying low?
Yeah, that's what I'm on No Agendas today. No Agendas. I'm with all the smoke today. I'm getting tired of all this interaction on Twitter, all this old fake basketball talk. I'm ready to bring the heat.
You ready to bring the heat?
Yeah, dog. I've been missing you though, bro. Look, couple of days since we do the show. I gotta see your face more often.
Yeah, man. I've been laying low, just doing my thing, making my rounds, and every time I look up, you got people in the uproar on Twitter.
Hold on. Before we even start the Twitter, first of all, we gotta say happy birthday to my boy Yoda. He just turned 42. He think he getting old, but man, look, you don't get old till you touch 60, man. You still young. You still young, man. You still got that middle, you got that second child, man. You already told me about. She already ready for the basketball, so you gotta stay young for us, yo. You know what I'm saying? Project's just getting popular. We got another 20 years of this.
Yeah, we got to get going, man. I appreciate it, man.
Hold on. I'm watching the other day. Roundball Classic on 9-6. I'm watching. Who gets the MVP of the Roundball Classic? Was it who was it? Rashad Phillips? See, Yoda, that's the problem, man. You be being too humble with some of these cats. Like, see, I gotta put it in their face. Like sometimes when cats step out of line with me, I gotta kind of toss that. Hey man, look here, man. You will talking to a Hall of Famer in Texas, and like man, you won the MVP of the Roundball Classic, bro. That's that's a major event. I participated in that in 9-6. You know what I'm saying? With Tim Thomas, Kobe Bryant, like, you know what I'm saying? One of your Michigan natives, McTeague Cleaves was on the court. Like, give us some little insight on what happened. What was your motivation to go over there and take over that game like you did?
So it was funny, man. Look, in 1996, in high school, when they had this game, it was like probably the top. This was the top 20 players in the country. You know, Magic used to have this all-star game in Michigan at the Palace every year. So the funny thing is I wasn't invited to the game at all, like, because I wasn't nationally ranked, so I wasn't invited. So unfortunately for McTeague Cleaves, he got injured. So they needed a quick fill-in. They was like, well, who's the next best guard in the state of Michigan? And everybody was like, well, it's Rashad. And they like, well, he only like 5'9", $150. Like, he not gonna be able to play out here with Kobe Bryant and Tim Thomas and Jamal McGlure and Rip Hamilton. Like, these are the top players in the country. They're like, well, he's a fill-in. So look, man, long story short, they basically asked me to come to practice for one day and to see if I can fare. And I showed up to practice, and in the scrimmage, I had like 26 in the scrimmage. And they was like, well, not only is he gonna play in the game, he's gonna start. So I end up starting the next day in front of 20,000 people.
Man, god darn, yo, why you didn't prepare me, man? I needed to bring these two kids of mine, my 12 and 8-year-old, so they can hear this gospel and hear about, man, see, like this type of, man, keep going, man. I don't even want to interrupt you, man.
So the following day, I get this, I don't know I'm gonna start. It's just chatter. I'm in a locker room. I still don't have a uniform yet. Like, I just showed up in the locker room, and I still didn't know I was gonna play though. They were still like, well, we don't know. You had a good practice, but the guys wasn't going hard, like trying to make it as if like
right.
my performance still didn't pan out because the other guys I was playing, they was going through the motions. So they like, I don't know. So finally the coach was like, look, man, let's put them out there, throw them a uniform. They threw me a uniform. It was too big. I had tape on the back of the jersey. They gave me a size 11 and a half shoe. I wear 10 and a half. The shoe was too big. And they was like, we're going out here. Put me in the starting lineup, 20,000 people. They tossed it up. And my dad was like, he told Dick Vitale before the game, my dad told Dick Vitale, if my son plays, he's going to win MVP of this. Dick Vitale was like, no way. My dad said, look, I know I'm his pops, but I know my son, he lives for these type of moments. You put him out there, he going to outplay everybody. I'm telling you, I know my son. They started me. I ended up playing the game. No looks, jumpers, whatever you want, it happened against Kobe Bryant, Tim Thomas, Rip Hamilton. They all were on the same team. And we ended up winning the game, and I won the MVP. And for people who think I'm lying or it's cap, here's the MVP trophy right here. I won it. This is it. It says April 14th, 1996. This is my MVP trophy. So this is a real story. And one thing about that is the question that I always get asked is, why did I start Sports Talk 2319? And the reason I started Sports Talk 2319 is because kids like myself, I lived not being ranked, but knew that I could compete with the high level players if given the opportunity. So that's kind of the real reason why I built the platform that I built, to highlight guys like Ja Morant and those type of players, and Grant Riller, because I was Ja Morant. I was Grant Riller. I was the guy that went to the mid-major that wasn't ranked. But when you put me on the floor with the other 5 stars and the NBA All-Stars, I probably can hold my own. And that's one reason why I started Sports Talk 2319. And that actually happened. Right after the game, Kobe comes up to me. Right after the game, Kobe Bryant walks up to me, #1 player in the country at the time, on his way to the NBA, walks up to me, gives me that, and he said, man, you a bad MFer. And then he went on to give an interview with Dick Vitale and company and say, yeah, we were good, but Rashad Phillips was better today. He was the best player on the floor, and y'all can YouTube all that stuff. I ain't making that up. So I wanted to share that with kids out there. If you unrank all that 5-star, 4-star, that stuff don't mean nothing, because when you get in between the lines with a shark, what we talk about, Perk, when you get in between the lines with a shark, no matter what kind of shark it is, you better be careful if you want to jump in that water. And that's kind of how it played out.
Oh, my bad, Yoda, man. Hey, I was stuck, dog. I was sitting up here, I was mesmerized. Like, no BS, dog. That was pure gold, dog. Like that story was one of the best stories I done heard in the last 10 years, dog. No cap. Like, nah, take it off. Like, no cap. Like, I'm sitting up here like, hold on. Did you just say that you wasn't even invited to the game? You was a replacement. You had tape on the back of your jersey, and you played in the Roundball Classic in '96, where we talk about arguably the best high school class to ever come out with the great Kobe Bryant, and you came out with the MVP trophy. Jersey too big, shoes too big. Hey, listen. Hey, man, I done heard a lot of stories, bro, about, guys who came into situations where they wasn't invited and made a name for themselves, but this is one of the best stories I done never heard, dog. I was stuck. My bad. I got lost in the moment. Like, hold on, what? And then you keep on with the dad telling Dick Vitale, and then the aftermath, like Kobe, and like I was sitting up here, I had to snap back. My bad, bro. I was really like, hold on, like I was really what you thought, the computer froze or something?
I thought it froze. I'm like moving the thing.
Dog, I was sitting up here like, hold on, dog. This
it was. I mean, you couldn't really script that in a movie. Like it like this actually happened, where you basically, when I step out of it and just look at it objectively and look at it, it was a 5'8", 150-pound kid that's unranked, and you threw him on the court with 19 of the best high school players in the country, and the unranked dude came out with the MVP trophy. You can't script that.
You can't script that. You know what makes now look, you know what that made my day is that this story has never been told, but it's been told today on No Agendas, God damn it. So we rocking. I'm ready. We rocking. I knew I had my all black and my Raiders hat on for a reason. Let me cock it to the side. Let's action real quick.
So that goes into like our next point. And this is something you had. Let's talk about an underdog story. So you've had the Twitter streets in the brawl the last week, and especially the last couple of days. You put up a question on Twitter: who would you rather have, Pascal Siakam or Paul George? And it's been an all-out war in your comments. And I want you to kind of expound on that, why you picked Pascal over Paul George, because it's a war going on Twitter in your comments because of that.
Well, before I get to why I picked Siakam,
okay,
I want you to answer because you never gave me your pick, and I want to know your pick and why. But first of all, let the people know and all the listeners understand that I put out something on Kendrick Perkins' Twitter that was my list. My list. That's the key word in that. That's my list. That's my questions. And I say list because I put out a list right before that, my all-time top fives or whatever in each position. And then I asked the question. But I said, this is my choice. Like at the end of the day, I didn't say, did you agree? I just asked to say, hey, drop yours. So before I get into details on why I picked Siakam, I would like to hear your pick and why would you pick the certain player? And I'm going to give you mine.
So when I looked at it, I was like, wow, that's a tough question.
Right.
That's a real tough question. So I understood the battle that was going on within the comment section because it was a tough draw. But I actually, man, I picked Siakam too. And I just think right now Siakam is the better player. Okay. And this takes nothing away from Paul George. See, we get to a point where when you look at Paul George, I believe Paul George is more skilled than Siakam. I think he has a little bit more fluidity than Siakam. Mm-hmm. But I look at Siakam as just having more productivity right now. Like just pound for pound, I would go with Siakam. And when comparing great NBA players a lot, Perk, sometimes you have to throw the stats out and just use your eyes. Here's a quote from me. Like, if you have an honest eye, you don't need stats. I'm going to repeat that again for everybody listening. If you have an honest eye, you don't need stats. Mm-hmm. And this holds true with Siakam and Paul George. I love Paul George. Very skilled, terrific handle, good jump shooter. But when you look at Siakam, here's a guy that has a terrific motor, fantastic quick twitch muscles. He can beat guys off the dribble. He has an unorthodox style of scoring. He has those little flip shots like Antoine Jameson used to have. He has a lot of teardrops and flips and left hand off the wrong leg, right hand, and he's an underrated knockdown shooter. So when I look at it from my eyes, that's what I see. Now, referring back to the story of underdog, a lot of people don't know this about Siakam, Perk. Siakam averaged 20 points and 11 rebounds at New Mexico State. He averaged a double-double in college, bro.
That's hard.
That's hard to do.
As soon as you said that, it was one other person came to mind. Two, Mike Beasley and Kevin Durant, because he averaged a double-double at Texas, didn't he?
I think he was just under it. I don't even know I think he may have been just under it.
Man, think about that, but keep going.
So Siakam averaged 20 and 11 in the 2015-16 season at New Mexico State. He goes into the league and he gradually continues to get better. So the last 2 years, now I'm going to give you the stats because I already given you my honest eye. So the last 2 years, Siakam averaged, as the number one guy this year, he averaged 23 points a game, shot 45%, 7.5 rebounds as the number one guy. Last year, as the number two guy or three guy, because they had Kyle Lowry as Kawhi's sidekick, Siakam averaged 17 points, 7 rebounds, shot 55%, and he won an NBA title. So I look at Paul George last 2 years, pretty good. This season, 21 points, 43% shooting, 5 rebounds. Last year, Oklahoma, 28, 43%, 8 rebounds. But here, impact over stats. I think Paskal right now, Siakam has a bigger impact on the game than Paul George. Now, I love Paul George, but Siakam's impact is bigger. That's why I went with Paskal.
And see, now you preaching. And here's my problem. My problem is that it's not people are going, I didn't ask who was the most popular, because if you're going with who's the most popular, obviously you're going to say Paul George. I didn't ask who had the better career. No, I asked a question, meaning recent, like in the present or even last year, who are you taking? And I'm taking Siakam. I love PG. You know, PG got the pretty game.
Yeah.
You know, he got the trade balls, you know, it's something special to watch and all this. But, you know, Siakam, when you talk about Siakam, he getting it out the mud. See, it's not different. See, a lot of people don't want to watch that because
they don't see that.
They don't see that because his game is not flashy. It's somewhat boring.
Gritty.
Yeah, it's gritty. So when you're looking at PG, he's almost like a Barry Sanders. He's flashy, hitting you with the jukes and the spin-off. But when you're looking at Siakam, you're looking at him like a Marshawn Lynch. You see what I'm saying? I'm just getting the job done. I'm running through you. That type of thing. I'm getting it out the mud, straight from the slums, the bricks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I'm looking at Siakam game and I'm comparing the two, and yes, I know, okay? Yes, I know that Paul George was top 3 MVP candidate last year. I'm not knocking it.
Right.
I'm not knocking it. But then all of a sudden, we not gonna sit up here and act like that Siakam didn't win most improved player last year, right? And then we're not gonna sit up here and act like this man is not he wasn't a certified Robin to Kawhi Leonard. Certified in winning the championship. Last year with the Raptors, every time the Raptors needed him to step up, he did and more.
Bucket.
Game 1 on the biggest stage in the NBA, in the NBA Finals, the biggest stage of the NBA, he comes out and dropped 32 points and I think missed 2 shots. Like, think about that. He's never been there, but it didn't frighten him. And he's giving it to you in multiple ways. I could run the court, catch lives. If coach need me to pick and pop, I could pick and pop, put it on the floor, Euro step, make a shot, floaters. I could take it to the block. I got hook shots. It's not pretty, but he gets it done. And then on the other side of it, he's so underrated at shot blocking and defending. You can't teach 6'10" athleticism, and he has that. See, he don't have that. When you talk about those sharks again, yeah, like those great whites, Kobe, Jordan, you know, Russ, kind of, they got that great white mentality.
Great white, yeah.
And then, but then you look at like a guy like Siakam, he's like a bull shark. He got a different mentality. It ain't like that. Like Tim Duncan had a different mentality, but you never question if he was a shark or not. He was a killer. He didn't do all the barking and the growling and all that, like, you know, as a dog, but his bite was hard. Right. You know what I'm saying? His bite was hard. So, like, at the end of the day, man, I'm sitting up here and I'm looking and people are like, man, PG by a landslide. And I'm like, are we talking about the Eastern Conference starter Siakam this year? Like,
he was a starter this year, huh?
Yeah. Almost 24 points a game, 7.5 rebounds. And by the way, their team is better this year than it was last year. And they lost Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. And they're sitting at the number 2 spot right behind the Bucks in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
Nobody expected them to be there.
No.
Nobody expected them to be there. So if I'm a GM and I'm looking today and I'm watching with my eyes and I'm watching Paul George, who's been battling injuries over the last 2 or 3 years, but when he's on you, he's on, but you don't really know. I'm looking at this new upcoming stud and superstar in Siakam that's young, athletic, 6'10", and you know you can't pass up on the wing position nowadays.
No, you can't.
So I'm looking at Siakam like, hold on. He's taking this guy. Kawhi leaves. Matter of fact, here, Kawhi, I'm going to hand you Kawhi. Here, Siakam, I'm going to hand you over the keys. They're in good hands. Even Lowry has taken a back seat to Siakam. And cool with it. Because you have to. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to address that. And I'm glad you did, because we got to let some of these people know who, see, the Clippers are on ESPN or TNT
all the time,
every night. So they're able to see Paul George. Even when he was with OKC, the Raptors are not. The Raptors don't get talked about in the media. So unless you're actually going to the Raptors network channel to watch them, in which a lot of people is not, you know what I'm saying? But we are.
We
so
are,
At the end of the day, man, I mean, and listen, I didn't say by a landslide. I said I gave the slight edge.
You did. Yeah, and that's no slight to Paul George. I just think right now it comes a time when one player is just on the rise and the other player is kind of at his ceiling. And Siakam has proven that he can play on the biggest stage, be the number one option, and be the go-to guy and deliver. I mean, that's just what it is at the end of the day. But I love Paul George. Like, he's smooth. I love his shoes, his apparel, like everything he brings to the table. But right now, I would have to go with Siakam. And so we got to talk about this. We can't skip, the Last Dance. Like, we're halfway home with the Last Dance. So we got to talk about Sunday's episode. So it was funny because, like, when I was watching it, I'm like, man, I kept watching MJ in the locker room, and I'm like, wait a minute. This dude got his own personal locker room with security guards, and I'm like, damn, I've never seen that before. Because I kept saying, why they keep shooting that shot with him sitting by himself? Where's his teammates? And it dawned on me that dude had his own, like, office and locker room at the same time. So
Yoda, he had a candy red Range Rover. They wasn't even making candy red Range Rover. Like, think about that.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he was special, man. He was bigger than life back in the 90s. Like,
he's showing us.
Yeah, he's showing us. He was bigger than life.
And what I loved about it, seeing his, obviously him in his own element, his own locker room, and his security guards, what I love most about those scenes is how relatable he was to his security. Like, he was, flipping quarters with them and joking with them. And it always warms my heart to see, a person of that stature still be able to relate to people no matter where their social status or financial status. So that just meant a lot to me to see MJ kind of do that and just flipping quarters and having fun. So, but I want to ask you, you've played so long in the league, you've had so many teammates. The question I want to ask to you is in your playing career, have you seen any of that type of VIP treatment? Like, MJ giving out tickets, he controlling everything. Like, MJ was like doing everything. Like, what the hell?
He was. He controlled everything to a certain extent, because it was a point in this last documentary series where Phil Jackson actually kicked out Jerry Seinfeld. Like, nah, Mike, you and Jerry closed that out, locker room closed. Like, come on, this is Jerry Seinfeld right here. Like, without a smile or nothing. So, at the end of the day, man, it makes me think back, before I answer your question, it makes me think in a whole nother space about how much now in today's NBA, how much organizations put so much emphasis into culture. Okay, and I blame that on the San Antonio Spurs, because they put a lot into culture. All right, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's no knock. This is not a racist thing or whatever, but
Right.
the San Antonio Spurs had a lot of foreigners. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. So they were able to develop this kind of stiff,
But they formed a family type thing because you got a bunch of guys that were from different countries that were looking for acceptance, and they kind of created that family atmosphere. But go ahead.
But it was kind of military. Like, it was military. And so what I'm noticing is a lot of teams are trying to mimic that, right? But you can't mimic that, because when you talk about African American players, right, we come from a different breed. Like, majority of us come from the dirt, the mud, the hood, the slums. We had to get it. I'm talking about where you couldn't come in the house in the summertime even to get water. You better grab that water hose and make it happen. Like it's real. So it's different. So you can't have that culture. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm watching the culture back then with the 90s Bulls, and I'm like, man, hold on, man. Like, these MF was popping Miller Lights and right now, they ain't got a cooler full of Gatorade. They got a cooler full of Miller Lights. I mean, Dennis Rodman drinking a Miller Light, throwing the can away, jumping straight on the motorcycle and riding off. Today's, you can't pull up in a motorcycle to an arena, but it just goes to show me, like, back then, and I think now, and I'm gonna get to your question, but it made me think about this, that nowadays, I think teams put too much emphasis into culture. Like, you can develop a culture somewhat, but does that really, it doesn't win you championships? It possibly can, but sometimes it's okay to go get guys that are rougher the feathers. Long as they can get on this court and produce
and perform,
I don't give a damn what they got going on. So I just wanted to address that because it's been proven. Like, like the Bulls, the Pistons, the Celtics, they weren't quiet boys. Like, Danny Ainge them was some pit bulls, and they living their life. And I mean, even when you look at Shaq and Kobe Lakers, like, they were big kicking it outside of that. But to answer your point, it's one player, and this is my brother. I hate to put him on blast, but this is like, I haven't seen this in my life. Like, I never had a guy that had his own locker room, but my big brother, Kevin Garnett, aka KG, aka the Big Ticket, aka he gonna be mad at me because only me and Sam Cassell call him this name, Hershey. Hershey is going to be mad, but I walk in the locker room after we won a ring, and the locker room, we all kind of had a chair like you sitting in, where you could adjust it, it's comfortable, got the cushion or whatever. Yeah, you could rock back, kick your feet up. But man, I walk in, KG got a $4,500 massage chair right in front of his locker. Not a rocking chair, a massage chair.
Man, with the little remote and everything.
Yeah, like incline, like the chair, his chair gone. It's the massage chair. I said, what's going on? But you can't say nothing because this is the big ticket.
It's the ticket.
And me, like, the way I'm feeling, I'm like, go ahead, do your thing, big fella. We 2008 champs, we defending champs. Hey, man, where's mine? That's what I was wondering. What mine is. When you went back down, when they thought about putting it in here, you didn't think about your partner in crime over here that you rock with on the defense.
Yeah.
But nah, that was out of all the things, man, the man had a real live massage chair. I'm not talking about putting a massage cover over a chair.
Oh, the real thing.
Nah, he had the real thing with the feet thing massages that he could incline, and it was just cool. Nobody
all year?
Man, till he left the Celtics. But all year. This went on for about 4 years. Like, this my chair.
Wow.
Yeah, like that. Like that.
Hey, that's next level ticket. I don't think nobody has had a massage chair in they locker stall. But hey, when you the big ticket, you can do that.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can do that. Now, it's staying on subject though. Let's stay on these high character dudes like Michael Jordan and those guys. When we looked at Jordan and what they're trying to paint this picture of, even when I was younger, now I'm older, I understand, was they still use the word Jordan had a gambling problem. They always try to use that. So in the documentary, we kind of saw Jordan, you know, he went out with his pops and some friends, I guess, when they was playing the Knicks in the playoff series, and they went across the bridge to like New Jersey, and Jordan just, you know, played some slots or whatever they said. And the Bulls end up going down 0-2 to the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And the media was rushing Jordan about questions like, oh, you were doing this, you were gambling, y'all down 0-2. And Mike went radio silent for the rest of that series. And the crazy thing about that is the Bulls end up coming back, winning that series 4-2. It was a gentleman's sweep. They end up coming back winning 4-2, but Mike didn't speak to the media during that whole time once they started that gambling kind of narrative. Do you think if MJ was playing today, would social media be in Jordan's way? Would it really get to him? Imagine Jordan gambling and everybody on Twitter, you know, Jordan gambling this and that, and they go down 0-2. Do you think social media will bother Michael Jordan today?
Absolutely. He don't have social media today. Think about that. Like, everything is his Jordan brand. But Michael Jordan, can you go find Michael Jordan personal Twitter account? No. Can you go find Michael Jordan personal IG account? No. Like, Michael Jordan don't like that. Like, and he said it best. Like, I'm here to play basketball. I'm not here to promote, you know, people for presidency. I'm not here for none of that. I'm here to hoop. And outside of that, I'm the ultimate competitor, and I like to gamble. Yeah. Like, okay, so what if you're a spectator and you say he has a gambling problem? Who cares? He worked hard to get the money. He got the money. One thing we know about Mike, he's never going to run out of money. He could gamble all he wants.
He would never run out.
Yeah. And I tell you what, if so many people want to talk about how people have gambling problems, but I don't see people protesting to close down casinos. Right. I don't see people saying that casino have commercials where they saying casinos are bad for you.
Right.
So what is the problem? Like, why? Yeah, a lot of people got gambling problems. They love to gamble. Certain people just love to try to win money. I don't think it's a problem. If it's a problem, why do we have these buildings where we could go gamble?
Right. And you know what? That's a great point you said. And this is how I look at it. I never thought Jordan had a gambling problem, even that now that I'm older and kind of understand all of that stuff, he never had a gambling problem. I just believe that Jordan, and he said it to an extent, but he loves to compete no matter what it is. He's just one of those type of dudes that just like to compete. And he likes to put stakes on the line. That's just the type of dude he is. He has to be for something. We watched him gamble quarters, you know, like he just liked to put stakes on the line and then put himself under pressure. There's a thing about great players. Great players, there's a weird thing about great players. They kind of love adversity. And Michael Jordan was the guy that kind of liked that narrative of he can't do it, or he's doing that or doing this, and like to go up against things. So I really believe that Michael Jordan actually loved that gambling rumor because it gave him another barrier that he can climb over.
Another obstacle
he needed that.
Yeah.
He needed that fuel, and you've been around KG and all them, and they like to have adversity because it fuels them and kind of propels them. So Jordan ended up winning. The Bulls, they went 4-2 after being down 0-2. And I think the media is the reason why the Bulls gave them a gentleman's sweep. That ammunition that they gave Jordan made him come out and do what he did. So, but I do think social media would get to him to an extent today. because he doesn't have a social media. He's just old school. He doesn't like that. I don't think he just likes all that stuff. Jordan doesn't like to be accessible to people like that.
I agree. And see, look, Yoda, and I want to bring up a point and ask you a question on how you feel about it. Now, the one takeaway that I didn't like that Mike did was that how can you go solid and not address the media? And here's why. Like, LeBron James can't do that today. Like, no. Like, if it's something out there, like, you got to man up and address it and move on. Like Kobe Bryant. He never ran and said, I'm going solid from the media. No, y'all want to talk? Here it is. I'm about to address the problem. Matter of fact, the NBA today don't let you leave without doing your assignment of talking to the media, or you get fined a hefty $25K. So my question to you is that back now, you put Jordan in today's game, could he get that pass of not talking to the media, or would he just accept the fine and just move on?
Yeah, that's a great question. I truly believe that Michael Jordan loves that type of adversity stage. So I believe he would take the fine.
I agree.
I think he would just ignore it and just say, fine me. I'm not going to talk to y'all for 4 games. It's $100,000. It's nothing to him. He'll just take that, and he'll take the 4-2 gentleman's sweep and move on to the next round, because now Jordan just created another story going, so I just think Jordan was wired to the point where he knew what he was doing to a certain extent, and he needed that. He needed to be the bad guy for a minute to get out of that good guy image, because they went down 0-2. He needed that. Kind of like when LeBron needed to embrace the villain. It's something about great players when they have to embrace being a villain. They actually become greater.
They become better. Absolutely, I agree.
So LeBron had to play villain in Miami. He was great. Like, my favorite LeBron is Miami LeBron. He was a villain. Kevin Durant had to be a villain for a couple of years.
Right.
Great. Michael Jordan had to play villain for that playoff series during the gambling.
And
he was great.
Absolutely.
When you play the villain, you come out great sometimes. So
you know what I was gonna tell you last thing? Hey man, MJ is a mean MFer, man. He is mean, man. He is a mean individual. Like when we talk about where I'm from, when we talk about like guys that are soft, we shoot that statement out there. We say, man, your heart pump Kool-Aid. But then, we guys that were about that, we like, man, it's straight blood flowing through our bloodstreams. But
period.
Talk about Jordan, man. He got a little bit of that Tabasco hot sauce flowing through him, bro. That shit that he be on, that mindset, that killer mentality, man, that shit not normal. And you talk about him being a great white, I'm willing to go on the line and say, man, that dude might be a killer whale.
But a killer whale, huh?
Yeah, a killer whale will mess a great white up. I mean, his mindset, the way I'm looking at it is like, yeah, I said it, I meant it, I did that, and I did it for this reason, and I'm not
keep
gonna
doing
it.
Yeah, that's how MJ was. And when you looked at the transition to our next thing, our next subject is a guy that emulated Michael Jordan throughout his whole career. And there was a scene in a locker room in 1998 when Kobe made his first All-Star appearance. And you saw the guys in the Eastern Conference locker room, Jordan, Tim Hardaway, and all those guys basically speaking about Kobe. And Jordan said something, and I'm paraphrasing. He said that Laker boy, he gonna try to go one-on-one with any and everybody. And everybody in the locker room was laughing and joking. But there was an undertone in that statement.
For sure.
It was an undertone in that. So I want you to kind of speak on, I want you to decode that for the average person, what they actually were saying about Kobe Bryant in 1998.
Well, first of all, the Laker boy, that's not an undertone, because he didn't call him by his name. He said the Laker boy. So that that right there should have been like, oh, Jordan, like Kobe is on his radar and Jordan want this action. That's first thing first. Now I'm gonna tell you something. It's interesting that you brought that up because I just ended up doing, ESPN hoop streams, right? And we brought J Kidd on them. Okay.
Okay.
J Kidd was in that 9-8 All-Star game. Okay, yo, hear me out, bro. And he said something that he dropped a story on us that I don't think no one heard. That in 9-8, in the 9-8 NBA season, who was the MVP that year?
Was it Jordan?
No, it was Karl Malone, wasn't it?
It was Karl Malone. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It was Karl Malone.
So think about this. They in the All-Star game. Karl Malone tells Kobe, let's run a pick and roll. Kobe tells Karl Malone, no, we're not running no pick and roll. I want this one-on-one matchup. Okay, first of all, Kobe Bryant was just starting to become Kobe Bryant.
Right, it was 98. He wasn't there yet.
We're talking about Karl Malone, MVP Karl Malone. Like he was already cemented as a Hall of Famer and everything. And this young Kobe Bryant told him, no, we're not running no pick and roll with me, you and I. No, you're going to watch fall back, and I want this one-on-one matchup. Like, think about that. Think about that. Like, and like for a young guy to tell Karl Malone, the MVP, like, no, fall back, and Karl Malone listen. That's the crazy thing. So that shows you Kobe mindset. But like, you got to look at it too. Like, Jordan went into the locker room. For him to say that, and from my eyes watching the Last Dance documentary, he had it on his mind anyway that he knew that Kobe was going to come at him and that he knew he was about to go right back at Kobe. Like, this is what, like, last year All-Star game is what we've been missing. That's how you compete. Because in 9-8, that's how they was competing. Yeah, it wasn't no friendly stuff. No, it was for real. Yeah. So it was like, it was still in all. I thought Jordan had it on his mind that, like, nah, he all right, but I still got to make sure I keep him humble and keep him up under this wing. I'm going to go out and approach this when Jordan had nothing else to prove. But that goes to tell you, not only, that goes to tell you not to just speak about Kobe Bryant, how like Kobe Bryant mentality. It goes competitiveness, but it goes to show you again, man, Jordan was just on some other stuff. I don't care if you look up to me. I'm about to just come out here and do something to you. And so you give me what you think.
So I like that, and I see a lot of that. And what I took from it is hearing Jordan kind of say that out loud to the rest of his teammates. For me, it was more, I felt like Jordan was really anointing Kobe in his own special way.
Okay.
Jordan wasn't gonna just come out and say he's the next me, but that's what he actually was saying. He was basically saying who he was 15 years ago in Kobe. He was like, look, Kobe, man, that Laker boy, he gonna just try to go one-on-one. He ain't passing you the ball. He was really talking about himself.
Right.
That's what he was doing.
Right. Okay. I'm following you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, Jordan was really praising himself vicariously through Kobe. That's what he was doing. He was like, oh, that Laker boy, he was really wanting to say that Laker boy is just like me. He gonna take everything personal. He gonna go at all of us in here, and he the next guy in this league. Jordan made that statement and crowned Kobe Bryant right there in that locker room. That's what he did.
Yes, I agree.
That's what he really did. And then they went out and they locked horns and they competed. But even at the end of that All-Star game, remember, it was a commercial. Jordan said, "I'll see you down the road." And Kobe was like, "Cool."
Right.
Jordan anointed Kobe Bryant right then and there. And the rest is history.
And the rest is history. And you know what? You just spoke the gospel. Because now you made me think about it. Like, think about this. Jordan, but think about the Kobe effect at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Jordan walking into an All-Star game. Kobe made the All-Star game. But on the other end, Jordan still, the West still had Karl Malone. Like, they still had other guys that Jordan could have been thinking about. But the conversation
was the 22-year-old.
Was the 22-year-old Kobe. But that's the effect that Kobe had at 22 years old. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, what you just spoke was the gospel. And the way you broke that down, man, was, hey, look, hey, this is coming from Genesis chapter 9, verse 21.
We got to get our production team to put some scriptures and stuff.
I'm just saying, man, because, hey, man, look, I ain't been to church, man, because of this pandemic, boy, but we sure been speaking the gospel.
We getting this gospel. So last thing of the day, you and it's like, man, you be having the Twitter, you be having Twitter in a brawl, bro. And so you said this, and you got a lot of pushback. So I'm gonna bring it out. You made a statement on Twitter, and you said that LeBron James is the greatest off-court athlete ever, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to speak on that, then I'm going to give it back to you. I want to speak on it first because I want to kind of give you how maybe it looked on the other side, right? Okay. So, and I saw that, I thought about it first when I saw it, and I ran through the names, and I actually agreed with you. I tweeted like I 1,000% agree with you. And this is no... Trust me, this is no disrespect to anybody at all, because like I believe Jackie Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Jim Brown, and like I can go on for days. But the reason I believe that LeBron James is the greatest off-the-court athlete is because I believe he's all those guys that I mentioned wrapped in one because of evolution. Like, it's like we tend to ignore evolution.
Right.
Like, you know, like Jackie Robinson is the ultimate athlete in my eyes. He's just the ultimate athlete for what he had to endure and what he stood up for, so a guy like LeBron James could take it to another level.
Right.
So we have to understand that when we say things like LeBron James is the greatest off the court athlete, it's because the guys before him laid the foundation, and he took that foundation and he remixed it.
Right.
He remixed it. So here's my thing. There's a difference between popular and powerful. And LeBron James is that. Now, Perk, he brought Obama, right? He brought Obama to speak to his graduating class, right?
Go ahead, Yoda. I'm all ears. I just got my phone out.
Yeah. So he brought Obama out to speak to his graduating class. Now, there's a difference. LeBron is powerful, and you got other players in the NBA that are popular. There's a huge difference between powerful and popular. There's a huge difference. I look at guys like Steph Curry, KD, they're popular. You look at LeBron James, he's powerful. Now, the difference is when you're powerful, you can shift the world with your words. When you're popular, you can just move a few units within that. LeBron can move the world with his stuff. And an example, calling the president. Like, you can't just call the Obama and say, hey, I need for you to do this. That's power. Popularity don't get you Obama.
No.
Power does.
Power does.
There's a difference. And so when LeBron,
but look, I know you see I got my phone out, right?
Yeah.
You know they had a new app where you could go and read your Bible verses and follow along with you as you go. And that's what I'm doing.
You following the sermon?
Yeah.
So when you look at it, LeBron stands alone when it comes to that. His power, what he's been able to do over the years, he's been able to embody all of the guys, the Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's been able to take that and then put his own spin on it and his own power and make something that's just supernatural.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to respect that. So calling Barack Obama, that was a huge chess move. Like, how do you even get in touch with Obama? Like, you can't just, like, how do you get through all of that red tape? Well, I can answer that. You got to be powerful.
Yeah, and he's the most powerful man in the United States, in my opinion. You know how they got the beehive? They got they got the Braun nest, Walt's nest. Like, they ready. Like, let's quit playing, man. Like, I'm not, and see, people took my tweet out of content, but I said what I said. It's no disrespect to Ali. It's no disrespect to all the greats and all Jackie Robinsons and all these guys that were, you know, like I was listening today and reading certain people comment on the situation. They like, man, Ali had gotten into trouble for civil rights and all this. And well, we're not going through this at this time. We don't know what LeBron James would have done back then, but we're not going through that. They just happened. Athletes was going through that at the time. That was just part of it. Yeah. But when we're talking about a guy, like when we get to talking about LeBron James and what he does for our culture, like he reminds it every single day. And he's one of the few superstars that speak up when something is going on in America and it has something to do, especially with kids or
he's gonna speak up.
He speaks up, and he not only does he speak up, he's dropping like golden knowledge. Like, it's gold. Like, you sitting up here listening, like, is this dude the president? So in my mind, the reason he's able to reach out and connect with Barack is because of the respect that Barack has for LeBron. And guess what? If he wanted to, guess who could be our next black president? LeBron James. If he ran for president, guess what? He could win. Think about that.
That's powerful.
Think about that. See, people don't want to look at the real. Yeah. Like today, I haven't seen, and I may just be late to Twitter, but I pulled up Twitter. Guess what? LeBron James commented on Ahmaud Arbery, the young black man that was killed in Georgia, okay? He came out, he tweeted. He said, we're literally hunted every day, every time we step outside the comfort of our homes. Can't even go for a damn jog, man. Like, what the fuck, man? Are you kidding me? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark, question, exclamation mark. No, man, for real. In all caps, are you kidding me? I'm sorry, Ahmaud. Rest in paradise. And my prayers and blessings, my prayers are blessings sent to the family, basically. But it's like, I'm speaking out every single time, whether it has something to do with murders, injustice things, or the kids, you know, with the colleges, the NCAA,
all of that,
whatever the case may be. Like, let's give this man his damn flowers, man, and not just roses, man. We gonna add some damn daisies and some
dandelions,
some damn tulips, right? That's what they call. Like, come on, man, let's quit faking it. And that's the problem that I have, is that this older generation has a problem with just saying, you know what, Muhammad Ali and them did lay the foundation, but LeBron James is taking it to another level.
And that should be okay.
Right.
Because there's going to be somebody after LeBron James that's going to take it to a bigger level than he did.
And guess what? He's setting the bar. Who's next and who's going to take after me and lead the way that I'm leading? Matter of fact, you want to talk? Shit, he donated $2.5 million to the Muhammad Ali Foundation.
He did.
Come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, you know, that's just what it is, man. Promote the gospel. That's what it is. That's how I feel. It's no disrespect to the grace that led the foundation.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's just like people saying that Jordan is the GOAT, but we can pull up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar resume, Magic Johnson resume, and we can put it right on the side of Jordan. What makes Jordan that much better than those guys on the court? So, like, you see what I'm saying?
That makes sense. No,
so, but it is what it is. But
like I said, there's a difference between being popular and powerful, and people got to know the difference. And hopefully, we were able to help you guys make the distinction. LeBron James is powerful and he's popular. He's both. But you got a lot of players that are popular, but they're not powerful. So we got to understand that. So we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna play our basketball polygraph. We're gonna stick on the terms powerful or popular.
Hey, look how I'm doing my.
Yeah, you better get ready for this test. So everybody at home, we play a game called Basketball Polygraph.
I'm not going to even look at you.
I throw questions at Perk. He has 3 seconds to respond. He has to tell the whole truth or nothing but the truth. That's why we call it the Basketball Polygraph. His answer is going to have to be either the word powerful or popular. I'm going to give Perk a name, and he's going to have to tell me if they're powerful or popular. You ready?
I'm ready.
Allen Iverson.
Popular.
Odell Beckham.
Popular.
Lionel Messi.
Powerful.
Tom Brady.
Popular.
Tony Romo.
Popular.
There we go. We just finished it up. Basketball polygraph. We're going to have to go back and change that one. He said that, I don't know, he said Tom Brady was popular. I don't know. He may have failed one, but he's been doing good for the last week. Thank you guys for joining us at No Agenda. We really appreciate you guys viewing every week, week in, week out. We are overjoyed. Thank you guys for joining us. Perk, you got anything?
Nah, I'm just piggybacking off of you, Yoda. Like, me and my brother Yoda, man, and you know, we got this No Agendas popping. At the end of the day, we having real basketball talk, and we saying this in a humble way, but like, we just want real basketball knowledge to get out there, because so many people are using their platforms to talk about garbage. And that's why sometimes on my Twitter and even Yoda Twitter, I lay the bait out there to see who go bite on it. I lay the bait to see what the actual basketball mind is.
Basketball mind.
Yeah, like the basketball mind. So like Yoda always say, are you really reading the tweet? Like, are you reading it?
Read it.
Like, letting it process and say, you know what? Let me go look into this and study it before I actually reply, and not follow the leader. Like, have your own mind. We teaching you how to go about something, how to do your studying, and have your own opinion, but facts behind it.
Yeah.
Like, we got our opinions, but we got the facts to back it up. So to our audience, we really appreciate y'all. No agendas, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be around for a long time. It is what it is.
Talk soon.